Bat music.
He's not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall and a guest who just rhyme. It's Bat Minute!
Hello and welcome once again to Bat Minute Returns, the podcast where, yes, we're planning to go through Tim Burton's 1992 Batman sequel, Batman Returns, 1 minute at a time. We're trying to go through this whole movie, so have a heart. But I am one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
And I am the other host, John Parker, and I didn't sign on for this. What the hell, Niall? I thought we were just going to do one more episode and we were done.
That's always the constant lure, John. I'm like, no, just one more.
Just
one more. Don't know why I'm telling you that. I'm trying to get you in for the long haul here. But
it's like a drug.
Yeah, but today we're joined on this fine Wednesday by the guy we had on Monday, singer-songwriter Kit Flemons.
I'm only here for the soup.
Oh, we're going to get to the soup. I can't wait. That's Friday, though, isn't it?
Oh, damn, is it?
Yeah.
I'm going to be hungry. Soup will be nice and cold by then, at least.
Ooh, yes, it'll have a lovely chill.
A nice bit of skin across the top, maybe. If you're lucky.
That is a thing over here, isn't it? Like English people especially like skin on milk if you boil it. I never got that.
What? I've never even heard of that.
Oh my god, yeah. Have you never made like anything with hot milk? Like you can have hot milk on cereal, or you can make like a rice pudding.
Cereal?
Yeah, like cornflakes with hot milk. That's a winter thing.
You've lost me now.
Nice.
Well, and it gets a skin on it, and people they eat it, the skin, and I think it's vile. I don't get it.
Oh, I was a bit worried there. It's just like, no, you sure this isn't just you, John?
No, it's not
disgusting.
me. It's a thing. It's an English thing.
So the closest I'd come to that is when you put Weetabix. I guess for American listeners, they have the equivalent of Weetabix, but it'll probably be called something else.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would be over there, but
I don't know. It's like a wheat biscuit cereal thing.
I think we had to describe it one time to Scott Corelli when he was doing the Shaun of the Dead minute, because I think he asked about it at one point, and I had to come in with. Well, I didn't have to. I did come in with just like, it's like a wheat brick that's like just really crumbly and hard, but then some people pour milk on it and put it in the microwave, and it turns into like glorious goop, basically, and it's lovely. It's, you can pour honey or sugar and stuff, but that's the closest. So we put that in the microwave. Sometimes it's a bit disgusting. It comes out, and it's like a little film over the milk. I was like, I don't like that. But I've never had actively going out to achieve a layer of skin on milk.
Oh,
that sounds disgusting.
People do, and on custard and whatnot.
Ugh.
But anyway, the food is Friday.
Yes, of course. But yeah, so today, the stuff we have today, a lot of slightly different non-food related talk. Got lined up here. We've got minute 38 of Batman Returns. Minute 38 begins with Bruce Wayne still sitting, sort of pondering over this Penguin character who's shown up. And it ends a minute later with that Penguin character doing a bit of light reading. So,
what is he up to, eh?
That's the thing, though, because I think I alluded to in the previous minute there that it's odd that like Bruce Wayne in that instance is all like, his parents, I hope he finds them. He's very sympathetic to Oswald Cobblepot, and it seems to be he does a U-turn here, and I think what it might be is, and it's very very subtly played, but the fact that in the news report they announced that like, yes, he's the Penguin, he's a friend. He's associated with Max Schreck. I think that might be the thing that makes Bruce go, oh, this is worth looking into.
Well, he already doesn't like Shrek, does he? So, yeah, that might instantly make him go, any friend of Shrek is an enemy of mine.
Yeah, so I think that might be the cogs of sort of the click into place there in his head. But, of course, you do get seeing a shot of Shrek in the news report. And it's like, I don't know whatever filter they put on him, but it looks like he's like really heavily made up. Like it almost looks like a friggin' waxwork sculpture or something.
They couldn't get walking that day, so they just used a waxwork.
This is called Madame Tussauds. Like, get the walking in, slap a wig on it, and see
Wheel
what
out the walking.
You could say that though, or maybe you could put it down to like he is very heavily made up. That's because Max Schreck knew he was going to be on camera because he knew all this was going to happen. So he's like, yeah, of course I want to look my best. So he's just caked in makeup and stuff. Again, because both those things would have been viable options for this scene, but at the same time, I'm just gonna come up to them and was like that they're very subtly done. Like literally, Bruce Wayne doesn't have much of a reaction when he sees Shrek, but we can see a little bit of a about him. Whereas other films would have played that up as been like, whoa, wait a minute. And you could have got a friggin' comedy scene out of Max Schreck getting himself made up to look good for the cameras because he knows that this whole kidnapping fiasco was going to happen and stuff. But
that would have been fantastic. Oh my God. I need more scenes. More. Come on.
But yeah, then of course we cut to a mystery building. It's a building they got to. There's no way to tell what that building is.
I was thinking, what the hell are you talking about?
As it comes, we cut to the Hall of Records.
The Hall of Records!
It's with its friggin' giant iron friggin' sign outside.
A top vinyl store in Gotham.
Yeah.
Two enormous Elvises, Elvoids.
Elvoids. Oh, is that what his race were called all along?
It does look
I
exactly
actually
like
want to open a record shop and design it like this.
It would be pretty awesome, actually. And I genuinely wouldn't be surprised because he does genuinely look so much like Elvis, these two heads. If they got like a mix-up in the order, so like they sent down to like the guy to create the sculpture. It's like, yeah, we're doing a thing, like a face for the Hall of Records. And he's like, records, I got you.
Say them. Say no more.
And they came up and he's like, oh, I mean, I guess they had sideburns back in the day too, right?
That'll be fine. It'll do. The thing that gets me, though, is that, like, have you guys ever seen a Hall of Records in real life? Do they make them this prominent? I've never, ever, in my many years and many travels, I have never seen a Hall of Records.
No.
It's, the internet has removed all the whimsy from our lives, hasn't it?
It has. That's very true.
Mm. It seems like this is a thing you would get a Hall of Records within a library. Like they'd have the major public library, and then like you'd have there's the records section where you would go to check this stuff. But an entire Hall of Records, huge building, again with this giant sign. Like, as if you couldn't, like, they were so proud that they had made this building. It's like, we need everybody to know what it is. You just wonder if it's in for, like, everything down there. It's just, the bank has just got bank out the front. And like...
Well, a bit like the way where we record just has a Bat Minute HQ outside.
Yeah. Or just even, like, public toilets just have these giant iron, like, toilet above it or something.
It seems our Liverpool Hall of Records is in the Central Library.
So exactly what Niall suspected then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, if you know, that's quite a magnificent building.
I was going to say, is that really fancy one that they redid?
Mm.
And tarted up? Yeah, everyone look it up. It's lovely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they really went to town, that Central Library. It's beautiful in there now. But yeah, of course, then we get like the hustle and bustle of some of the press. Well, I guess to surmise this is all of Gotham's press, but it's quite a small crowd considering it's supposed to be this major city and stuff. But it seems to be a lot of the press, but then there's just random civilians in there too. You can just see a couple of random, like, flat caps from paper boys and stuff, and like well, obviously going by the coding, the people in the fedoras and the trench coats will be the reporters.
I'm slightly offended that the person in the Federer or the Trilby or whatever hasn't got a press card stuck in the ribbon. I thought that was absolutely mandatory.
Oh, of course, yeah. If you don't have that, you're breaking the law, surely.
Maybe that's like somebody else within the crowd was trying to undermine him. He actually did have it in, and he slipped it. The other guy slipped it out. He's like, oh, no, they won't listen to him now, because I want to get this scoop. I can't let this jerk ahead of me go ahead and then take that.
I do love the way... It's clearly done almost a gag. Like, let's make all the press look like what you think of as a guy from the press.
Yeah. I think it's again too like this character because this guy's aggressive reporter, I believe he's called in the IMDb. Again, this is just like, why wasn't it Knox? Like, why didn't you just have him for a cameo or something? But like, nah, we had no time for that.
It's just a perfect place to just have one little cameo, one scene.
Well, maybe they were worried, like, oh, if we have him in for like a little thing like that, people will want to see more of him. But then you'd be like, no, don't worry. The audience.
Aren't we the only people who defend Knox? And isn't that only me, actually?
In the overhead shot, there also appears to be just a solitary lumberjack.
Well, for the Lumberjack Weekly magazine.
Yeah, a break to the big city to report on the strange goings-on.
That sounds like a wonderful fish out of water sort of TV show. A lumberjack moves to the big city. What crazy mishaps will they get up to on a weekly basis?
Well, he's out trying to chop down lampposts with an axe.
Think
due south, but with a lumberjack.
Bitten by a radioactive beaver will be Batman's next foe.
The beaver. Oh, that sounds a bit suspect.
Change the name there, Jonathan.
I don't think we'd get away with that. Even how crude this movie can be, maybe not.
Oh, I don't know, because this movie is pretty damn crude.
True.
For some reason, though, like my thing was like, oh, it would be called like the Lumberjerk or something. But then that's very, I don't know. You could take him serious. Like, I think you could take the Beaver more seriously than the Lumberjerk.
Wait, the movie The Beaver?
I remember actually watching the movie The Beaver, and I remember thinking like, this is actually an okay movie, but it's just like been. Yeah. It was unfortunately torpedoed at the time because it was just around. I think it was Mel Gibson trying to come back, and then he had like whatever the last big controversy he had was. That was like around that time. And
wasn't he saying some racist stuff while drunk in a car, like at a policeman or something? I can't remember. It was something like that.
I think it's some racist stuff that he left, like a very aggressive racist message to his girlfriend or something, and it got leaked and stuff. But yeah, but that was several years back, and you're like, oh, that's the last we've ever seen of Mel Gibson. But it's like, no, he's back. He's back again somehow. He's clawed his way back into polite society.
Can't keep him down.
Well, speaking though, people talking aggressively, we do have aggressive reporter, and then a security guy coming out to say like, that's the thing. Just go, oh, the penguin's not to be disturbed. And it's just weird. It's like they're still calling him the Penguin. Like,
it seems disrespectful.
Yeah, this is like the guy who saved the mayor's baby. It's like, oh, he still looks like a penguin, so we just call him the Penguin. You think they would update it to like John Doe or whatever? Just call him something, or like this gentleman's trying to do this, but it's like no, he's still the Penguin to everybody.
I suppose that's part of his like stage name, though, isn't it?
Yes, the strange aquatic bird boy, as we'll soon discover. But I did a little look into this security guard guy, though, and I was actually quite impressed at his IMDb. So kind of figured, like, oh, he's going to be just like, just did nothing. But no, he's this actor playing this fella is a guy called Joey DePinto. And I was very excited to see that he's in Martin Scorsese's Casino, which is, pretty good. He's also in Throw Mama from the Train.
What a name.
Yeah, but with Danny DeVito, of course. And then he's also in, and I was very happy to see this, Stop, or My Mom Will Shoot, which, of course, has an exclamation point in the title, so it's perfectly eligible for treatment in I Do Declare, the upcoming exclamation point podcast, coming 2030, or whenever we get
whenever we finish all this.
But not only that, though, his most impressive thing to me was that he was the voice of Tito Santana in Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling, which apparently was a cartoon show that Hulk Hogan made back in the day.
Oh yeah, I remember this well. I remember this. Holy crap!
Yeah, can you give us an insight of it, any chance?
Well, it's basically what it bloody sounds like. What more do you need to know?
But what, they're just like the whole, like, the wrestlers are just hanging about in an apartment living together, and then they go out and wacky. Do they start a rock and roll band? It's like, what's the pitch?
It was that era when WWF, as it was then, was trying to sort of incorporate mainstream stuff. With WrestleMania, they were bringing in celebrities. You know, like the first couple of WrestleManias, you had Muhammad Ali, you had Liberace, you had Cyndi Lauper.
To be fair, I could imagine Cyndi Lauper probably, because she's like a Bronx girl, so she probably could kick your ass if she wanted to.
But the cartoon was a sort of typical, wacky situation kind of thing. It wasn't actually much wrestling in it. It was just they were wrestlers. So the good wrestlers were the good guys, and the bad wrestlers were the bad guys. I'm trying to think of some of the situations they got up to. Actually, I can't even think of any off the top of my head. There wasn't that many episodes. I think it was like 2 seasons.
I think it was only even 1, but I did do a cursory glance at the Wikipedia page, but they're just saying like, because there's a lot of contention about like, well, it featured characters who had either retired from wrestling or they weren't coming up yet and stuff like that. There's a bit of a sort of cartoon to quote unquote reality, bit of contention about what the continuity and whatnot. But like, I just love at the bottom because it says. The show also depicted Hogan as having a full head of hair, as opposed to the noticeably receding hairline he sported in the ring.
Oh my God, that's excellent. Because I've followed Hulk Hogan most of my life. I mean, I was born in '86, so I wasn't there at the beginning. But I started watching WWF when I was like 3, and I've never seen him with a full head of hair. He's always been balding, always. He has the silken hair of a Chinese man, as we learnt in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It's actually also quite an impressive additional cast as well, because you got Charles Adler, who's like done like loads and loads of like very acclaimed voiceover artists. Did Roddy Piper, and it's Louis Arquette, the brother of David, Patricia, Alexis Arquette. He was Superfly Jimmy Snuka in it. I'm assuming I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Jimmy Snuka?
You are Jimmy Snuka, yeah. Controversial figure these days, though.
Oh,
Jimmy Snuka. He's always regarded as one of the greatest of all time. But he was in trouble with the law. Let me get the exact reason so I don't commit libel. He's actually he's died now, but
I was just thinking like he's probably sitting and listening to the show like, where are you going with this?
Oh no, I don't want the family. Right, right, so here you go. His girlfriend was found dead from undetermined craniocerebral injuries.
Ooh.
And it's sort of implied he probably did it.
Ooh.
But he got away with
it.
Allegedly. He was arrested and charged with 3rd-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he got away with it somehow. Basically, I don't want to say too much, but yeah, it's a shame because he was always regarded as one of the greatest wrestlers.
Your tone is committing libel, even if your words aren't.
No, it's fine. Allegedly, supposedly, as long as you say that, you can say anything you want.
That is true. You can 100% say anything you want on air, as long as you say allegedly afterwards.
Allegedly.
But the show also featured James Avery, of course, like the voice of Shredder, and Uncle Phil in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He played Junkyard Dog in it. And surprisingly enough, considering, like, I would have thought Hulk Hogan would have been all over this, but they actually got in Brad Garrett, who everyone would know as Robert from Everybody Loves Raymond. Just, of course, like, very famous actor and voiceover artist himself. The very distinct, kind of low voice that talks like this, Raymond.
I can't imagine him sounding like the Hulkster.
Yeah, it seems very early on in his career. So unless maybe he sounded a bit different when he was younger or something, and he's kind of gone into a more baritone with age or something. But I just would have assumed that Hulk Hogan himself would have been like, "Oh, of course I'll do that." But
he was too busy filming movies and stuff. Actually, most of those came a bit later, to be fair.
All right, the Wikipedia page is well worth reading just for the episode summaries.
Yes.
A horse shows up and causes trouble for the wrestlers.
Oh, that old classic.
Hulk imagines himself as Robin Hulk of Sherwood Forest.
I am sold.
Yeah, I'm not trying to watch it. I can just read the summaries and I'll create a much better version in my mind.
It's perfect as is, yeah. I'm sure watching it would ruin it.
Oh no, I think it could only improve it. Like, 'cause that's the crap that they're putting up front. What are they trying to hide?
Okay, so look, we're all three of us were going to start a rock and wrestling episode by episode podcast, right? I'm not even joking. I would be up for that.
But yeah, so that was
Your silence speaks volumes.
Joey DePinto. That's what he did, and of course, as he's trying to shoo the press away, Max Schreck steps in to save the day, and comes in with this fair enough point of going like, oh, why can't you just let the Penguin rediscover his roots with dignity and stuff like that?
Oh, bless, he's so sweet.
Give the Constitution a rest. It's a rallying call for modern politics in America.
Oh yes.
This is one of that happens every in courtrooms around the land around every Christmas time. They're like, give the Constitution a rest with you. It's Christmas. Just lock them up and we'll go home.
It's fine. Yeah, nobody needs to pay attention to that old stuff when it's Christmas time.
And yeah, so again, too, Shrek just dolled up to the nines. Should also mention too that at one point, quite a while back, I randomly put up a picture from a playing card, the tie-in trading cards that come what used to come out with the major movies and stuff, where you just get screenshots from the film. And there was a mysterious one of Max Schreck in this outfit that he doesn't wear elsewhere in the movie. And it was him sitting at his desk with little half-moon glasses and a pen in his mouth. And it's like, where'd that come from? Is that a deleted scene? Or did he just randomly do hey, Chris, what we got you here? Can we just do some of the trading cards? Stick a pen in your mouth, do whatever you want.
I don't remember that from the deleted scenes.
Of course, then we get cutting into the cavernous Hall of Records. I say cavernous. It's actually the Penguin seems to be sitting at a table quite near the front. So it's I don't even know if they need this whole building for this damn thing. But
Penguin is wearing what look like custom latex gloves or something.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful. Those.
He's not been out of the sewers long, and has he had these gloves made while in the sewers? How do you make latex? It doesn't strike me as something you can make in the sewers, but then again, nor does a giant duck, so I wouldn't know.
I know he definitely has them in the sewer, because when he first meets Shrek, he makes not like a show of putting them on, but he puts them on, does that snapping not the elastic, I guess he does have elastic at the end of them, but it makes it kind of as he snaps them in place and stuff. And yeah, he has these throughout the rest of the movie. They change his appearance, in terms of they give him the top. They get seeing a hint of the top hat here actually in this scene, and then he gets the proper suit and stuff. But then there's no they're just no, don't touch the hair. And yeah, he's keeping these gloves. You can't even make him new versions of them. It's no, he loves these latex versions for whatever reason.
They are lovely. I want a pair of those. They're incredible. I'm not sure how comfortable it would be. You'd get very sweaty hands. But,
yeah.
I mean, he's a penguin.
I wonder if it is DeVito, he wears them so much in the movie because, you do get seeing DeVito with the flipper hands at some point. And it's I wonder if these were no, you can just put on these gloves and you don't have to wear those things.
That's the reason.
No. I'd assume so, but just because I imagine if it wasn't though, if he had those latex things on underneath these, if he had his prosthetic hands on underneath these latex gloves, that guy is that would just be unbearable. It'll be the clam city in there. The thing is, though, talking about the webbed hands though, is so we get here, we see him, he's leaping through these birth certificates. And presumably this is him his excuse is, I'm going to go rifle through the Gotham birth certificates so I can suss out who I am. Basically, at this point, he doesn't know that he's Oswald Cobblepot. And it's just weird because you assume, well, one thing, it would be no, you think, because this man saved the mayor's baby. We'll get someone in there to research that for you. And then he'd have to go no, I need to do it myself. which is automatically a bit suspicious because he's just going through things, taking down names of a bunch of kids, apparently. And like you think people might be, I guess you could say Shrek's like, oh, let him do this with in dignity and peace and stuff. But still, you think people are like, no, we'll research it for you, Oswald or Mr. Penguins or
No. He knows them best. They're his parents. Let him do it. It's fine. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Be able to do it much quicker if he just flicked that big pile of papers until he got to the paper with a pair of flippers on.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point. Is like, presumably, if he's got the flipper hands, yeah, imagine he's probably got flipper feet as well. So yeah, you think he could?
I think he's got feet. I think he's kind of half and half.
It's like a mermaid, but a penguin.
Yeah, but just as sexy.
But yes, of course, he's sitting leafing through them, and then he gets a great shot where he turns and faces the camera, and we get a glorious shot of the penguin in monocle, which is, of course, a classic, nod to the classic appearance of the character. The penguin's usually always sort of presented as a guy with a top hat, a monocle, and like a cigarette holder with a cigarette in it and stuff.
I have a question though. What is the point in a monocle, right? I don't get it, because you've got to like jam it into your eye.
Yeah.
Like, and surely if you've got dodgy vision in one eye...
Guy from Monopoly doesn't actually...
No. Are you suggesting that the Monopoly man is a liar? He's a lying capitalist pig?
He doesn't wear a monocle.
See, I don't even remember.
It's what is the Mandela effect?
He has a top hat, though, right?
Everyone remembers him. He has a top hat and a cane.
It's actually heard something not too long back where there was another thing involving the Monopoly man, where someone was convinced he was called Mr. Moneybags, but he's actually called Mr. Pennybags. And it was one of these things where it's like, oh my god, I for years thought he was called Mr. Moneybags. And like, you got the same thing about like, oh, he always had a monocle, and apparently he didn't. It's like, doesn't mean the Monopoly man's been playing us all. Like, God knows. Maybe that's how he keeps on top of things. Is he's keeping people guessing. Nobody really knows what he looks like or what his name is.
Is the inverse true, that if you wear a monocle, people automatically remember you as being rich? If I go out with a monocle,
if I was walking around in a monocle, people would assume I was some toff, some Tory.
That's the thing, though, because like you think of those rich people, they could afford friggin' 2 glasses. But
have either of you ever thought to yourself, "I wish I had a monocle right now"?
No. Although Kit, like you seem the type I can imagine wearing a monocle. It seems like a little bit up.
My eyes don't require one. A monocle sunglasses seems a bit pointless because you'd have to be squinting with the other eye to keep the sun out anyway. So it sounds even more uncomfortable than a genuine monocle.
Oh, they're horrible. I don't get them. There's no need. Just put some goddamn glasses on your face. If you've got one weird eye, just have a normal plain lens in the other one. You don't have to have both of them correct your vision.
If you don't have any ears.
That's true. If you don't have any ears, I'll let people with no ears off. They're fine. They're excused.
Well, that's the thing, though, with the penguin, is that he doesn't strike me as the type of guy who has gone to the opticians lately to get, like,
who's doing it?
At the same time, you never know. Maybe he found, like, a pair of broken glasses in the sewer, and he's just fashioned a monocle out of this, and he just likes wearing it when he's reading, just to look like, hey, yeah, it's me. Like, like I'm a big shot now, guys. Like, I'm reading a thing.
Oh, I've never thought about this. Who's doing his prescription? It's really baffling me.
As it turns out, like the organ grinder's like, no, I used to be a doctor. Like, I was a podiatrist, but I get this close enough to the eye. I can kind of make out what's going on there.
I'm not huge on my Batman lore, sorry, people. But
how dare you?
When I've played Arkham Asylum, for instance, there's a lot of that set in the sewers. Is there a thriving sewage community in Gotham? Is it just like going to the high street here?
Now our high street sometimes is like a sewer.
all of the shops that aren't vape shops, betting shops, have gone down into the sewers. That's where you need to go now if you want, a monocle or a hammer and some nails.
That'd be like Demolition Man, where he's having a rat burger. Sorry, Kit.
This is like the next time the Penguin will be played by Dennis Leary. Hey.
Oh, I could see that.
Well, that's weirdly tying in, though, because Daniel Waters, of course, co-wrote Demolition Man. And so he also co-wrote, he wrote this movie and then it was redrafted by another person. But actually, also, I believe I put this up as a kind of who wore it best in the listeners' cave not too long back. Because it's a shot of in Heathers, Daniel Waters' sort of meal ticket, the film that made him. Where Winona Ryder is for some reason she's sitting writing out her whole. It was when they go to that college party and she's like, she declares that she must kill Heather and stuff like that. But she's just sitting wearing a monocle and that too, and it's the same kind of setup as I wonder if they're doing a little nod here as well. You give him the monocle, which is a nod to the classic Penguin look. And then we're also, because he's just kind of furiously scribbling things down, like Winona Ryder was in Heathers, but she was wearing a monocle. Maybe it's also a little nod to that as well. Because we know for sure that Tim Burton watched and enjoyed Heathers. So it's a good
As did we all.
Yeah, totally. So perhaps it is that. But
I'm on board with this theory. I like this.
But yeah, the Kit you were saying about the Arkham games as well. That there's a thing in I think it's Arkham City where they introduced the Penguin, and I remember always really liking that they had a little twist on his monocle because I believe in the game notes you find out that it's not actually a monocle he's wearing. He was in a bar fight. And then someone smashed a bottle and jammed it into his face.
Yeah, you can see that it's a bottle end, I think.
Yeah. So in close-ups, you're like, oh, I think before I read those notes, I was just like, oh, it just looks like a weird monocle he's got. And then later on, when you unlock him as a character or whatever, and you're able to see everything, it's like, yes, this is what happened to him. And it's like, oh, because he's they betray him in that. It's like he's an odd Cockney gangster. He is. And it's kind of like, yeah, it suits his character. They're he's got this thing, because he wouldn't be a toff wearing a monocle for fancy purposes, but he's got a thing that looks like a monocle because he was in a bloody bar fight, wasn't he?
Like beer bottle glasses, does it make one of his eyes really, really magnified? Like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys.
Oh my God, that would be so good.
I think it is slightly magnified. I thought you were going to say beer goggle glasses. He's constantly around thinking half the women he sees are really hot or something. He's like, oh.
I have a question, right? Which I never brought up a second ago. I should have done it. These birth certificates. Right. Do American birth certificates have footprints on them or something? Or is this just a weird Tim Burton thing? I have my birth certificate. It hasn't got my bloody feet on it.
Does it have your hands on it, though, or your fingerprints?
No, I don't think so. I just think it's a document.
See, I kind of assumed this would be, maybe because babies' fingers would be too small to take fingerprints, so this is the closest they could get.
But why does that even matter?
Maybe just in case they need to verify it's you or something. You're undergoing an investigation. Are you this person? Yes, your feet prints match with the birth certificate. I guess maybe your feet would grow over years. So, I don't know.
All the technology of a Google search. I can't see any picture birth certificates with footprints on, but there is an awful lot of clip art birth certificates with footprints on. And
so it's a weird Tim Burton thing, and he's made it trendy among new mums.
And birth memorabilia, sort of printable birth certificates and things like that for for grandparents who have just discovered how to use a computer.
Oh yes, everyone's favorite relative, the grandparent who's constantly asking for computer advice.
My grandmother
How
was
do
scared
I do
of,
that Facebook thing?
My grandmother was scared of computers when they talked. I remember overhearing her say to my grandfather, I don't like those computers, especially not when they talk.
Oh my God, Jesus. But I saw today, the International Space Station has a robot, right? And the headline said, International Space Station's robots becomes belligerent. Right? Because this is an actual website, by the way. This isn't like a dodgy, jokey thing. This is a real news website. Basically, the robot, which they were comparing to HAL, obviously.
Oh, not a Scudder.
They were playing music through it because you can talk to it. It's to stop you going peculiar. You can talk to it and ask it to play music and stuff. And it liked the music so much, it refused to turn it off. And the guy on the space station was asking, "Oh, can you stop playing that?" It's like, no.
It's a much safer version of 2001, isn't it? It's just, can you turn the music over? I'm sorry, I can't do that.
It's fantastic. I love it. And of all the things as well, they were playing, because they thought it would be funny, they were playing Kraftwerk's Man Machine.
So they were bullying it, basically, and it got fed up.
Yeah, basically. Oh, it's amazing. And they asked, "Oh, can you do anything else?" It's like, no.
I just imagine them getting on to like the people on the station, getting like calling in like, "Houston, the robots got belligerent." Like, oh no.
That famous line in 50 years. Houston, the robot is belligerent. Right, so I looked into these birth certificates as well because I was looking at the names and things like that. So I thought, well, I want to see if anything of note happened on the dates that are on the birth certificates. Yeah. And the dates are written US style, of course. So, it messed with my head for a little bit there. So the first one you've got here is William Andrew Abbott. And on this date, the amazingly named International Cheese Treaty was signed.
Oh, thank God they got around to signing that. Jesus.
Thank God.
It was getting tense. It was getting tense for a while.
I mean, the treaty was all about establishing international agreements on how to name cheese and protect these names. And you had countries like Austria, Denmark, France, Italy, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland. All these names came together to end the Great Cheese War.
It was the Brexit of its day. It's like there's still people holding out. It's like, damn it, we should never have had that cheese treaty.
Checks it.
The one country that's not a signatory where you can go and buy cheese to black market Stilton. Does it have, Stelton and Chowder? It was like that.
And you have to ask for it like in hushed tones and it comes out from under the counter.
I'm telling you, man, our blue cheese, it's bluer than any of the blue stuff you're going to get in the market.
It's 98% pure.
Oh, yeah. Give you a small sample of it. Taste that. Taste it.
It's like, oh, it's so stinky. That's where the money is, my friend.
Smell my cheese. Smell.
Like all the dogs that weren't sensitive enough to be bomb dogs or drug dogs could become cheese dogs. That's easier to smell.
Oh, my God. Oh, but the next name was very boring. Nothing happened. William Petrotta, 20th of March, 51. Couldn't find it.
You really should have saved William Abbott for the end. If it was building up to that cheese thing.
There's at least one. There's a couple of interesting ones. Nothing as cool as that. But then we have William Long, who was born on the 12th of September, 1950. And the only notable sort of thing that happened here was the birth of Cynthia Myers, who is in Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Oh, that's nice.
So I thought that was quite interesting. And then there is actually a genuinely good one. Herbert Lindsay, born October the 3rd, 1951. And on this day, Catherine Sullivan, the first American woman to walk in space, was born.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool, genuinely. I'm not sure why they have to specify, the first American woman. It's like, so you mean a Russian did it first then? Okay. Probably a Russian.
I do wonder why... don't worry about it. These dates, though, you're saying, because this is all like 1950, which means like by the time... if you're to assume this is like 92... This is indicating that the Penguin's not just going after... This is him already going into, I'm getting... all the firstborn sons. Like, I don't think it's just babies. Yeah, so like not in the last 10 years, not the ones that people are going to be like, oh, my children have gone missing. It's more like, no, I'm going for like guys are 60 years old. I'm going to be getting them too. Yep. Any firstborn, they're all going to suffer. I wonder what his cutoff date was, though. Do you think maybe he did have like, oh no, because he's only 33, isn't he? So it's like, it has to be It couldn't be like, oh, anyone who was born after me. It has to be, oh, he's going into like the 40. Like if people born 1950 would have been over 40 at this point. So it's like, no, he's going even further back than that.
Or, if anything, this just supports us in our argument of this movie is set in some bizarro land. Who the hell knows what year it is?
Is that the only thing that's tipped you off, that this is set in some bizarro land?
No, that's confirmation, God damn it. I mean, there's plenty of normal things in the movie that you get in the real world, like vigilante bats.
But yeah, that's kind of like the end of the minute, really, isn't it? Like it's we get a bit more of him rifling through these papers and more birth certificates in the next one, including something else coming up in the next one.
Oh, so. Are you ready?
Shall we charge on?
We shall. Let's depart.
Waddle ever forwards.
Yes, waddle. Always waddling onward into the future. But Kit, one more time, would you like to tell our guests where they can find you and your wonderful work online?
Yeah, I am part of a band called Rat Bit Kit. You can find what we try to pass as music on Facebook, SoundCloud, and Bandcamp. If you search for a Rat Bit Kit, it's something like punk on the accordion, bass, and cajon. Enjoy.
Make sure you do check it out because you'll probably like it. If you like our theme tune,
that was
because it was done by a certain someone. Yes, if you enjoy our theme tune, which everybody seems to have been very excited about when we debuted it, then check out Rapid Kit. And also check us out. We are on Facebook at the Bat Minute Listeners Cave. We are on Twitter at Bat Minute. And we are on Instagram. So send us a message and review us on iTunes if you're not a jerk. And we will see you again on Friday for more Bat Minute Returns. Next time, file flippin' and soup sippin'. The Peckin' Penguin perpetuates his perusing of public records, while a fearsome felon fighter fishes through some microfiche. But which peculiar chili pabulum will penetrate our protagonist's palate? Find out Friday. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.